In this video, I'm just going to try to quickly explain how the final portfolio review indicates whether a student has achieved a PBLA or an assessment task. So let's take a look at the first listening PBLA. So the first PBLA is Lena Horswell's story, and you can see it says 4 out of 6. So this is not the raw score, but the number of indicators of ability. So 6 is how many indicators of ability there are in this assessment task or PBLA. So let's take a look at the tool. So here we can see the tool, and we can see that there are 6 indicators of ability. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so a student would need to achieve 4 out of 6 indicators of ability. So if you look at the first indicator, gets the gist, there are 3 questions. So if the student gets 2 out of the 3 questions right, then you can click achieved. And then if you look at the next one, identifies keywords and phrases, there are 6 answers or 6 keywords and phrases that they should be able to identify. If they can identify 4 out of 6, then that would be 70%, and then you can click achieve here, and so on and so forth. So if a student achieves 4 out of 6 indicators of ability, then that would mean they achieved this assessment task. And we can go back to the FPR and take a look at that. So here it says 4 out of 6. So if a student achieved 4 out of the 6 indicators of ability, that means they achieved this assessment task. And then you can put achieved if you want, or you can put down 3, and that would be a not achieve, right? So if they only achieved 3 out of 6, then they would not achieve this PBLA or assessment task. So it is possible for someone to get a raw score that is 70%, but they might not achieve the assessment task. So for example, they could get all 6 keywords and phrases, they could identify all the important details, and they would get 13 already, right? And then if they, for example, get 2 out of 3 here, 1 out of 2 here, they might get a raw score that is 70%, but because most of the points come from only 2 indicators of ability, they might not achieve the majority or 70% of the indicators of ability. That's why the indicators of ability is the one that we should be looking at. If we do that, it's also easier to explain to the students why they achieved or didn't achieve a skill, right? So if you look at the competencies here, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 competencies. And so it's not the number of PBLAs that they achieve, but whether or not they can achieve 70% of the competencies. I hope that makes sense.